Picture this. You commit an offense, but you don't get punished for it. In fact, someone else gets punished for that offense. Sounds strange? Very weird? It is not. Because there is a terminology, a principle in finance that talks about the moral hazard. What is moral hazard? Moral hazard is a concept that says the doer of the action is not responsible for the outcome of their actions. It is a very dangerous and reckless principle, but it exists. This is the reason why you see matatu drivers driving recklessly and carelessly, knowing very well they are not the ones who are responsible for their actions. If the matatu gets involved in an accident, who will pay the garage fees? Of course, it is not the driver, it is the owner. If the matatu business gets sued, who gets involved as the owner of the business? It is not the driver, it is the owner of that business. And therefore they tend to behave recklessly because of that concept referred as the moral hazard. And KRA is very much aware of this concept of moral hazard. And they know very well, if we were to allow people to deduct penalties when they are computing will pay for taxes to pay to us, then we might end up not receiving anything in terms of taxes, because people will be encouraged to commit offenses right, left, and center. And at the end of the day, when they are computing for taxes to pay to us, KRA, they will include those penalties, those expenses, those costs, and therefore reduce the taxable profit, consequently reducing taxes payable to us. So in short, KRA does not want to hear anything about you treating cost of penalties as deductible expenses. So what is a penalty? Let's start there. A penalty is a charge that is imposed by a law or a regulator or a contract for non-compliance, negligence, or breaking of the rules. It is a cost that you incur for breaking the rules, for not complying with what you are supposed to do. It is not a valid business expense. Don't think it is an administrative or running operational cost for the business. It is not. Therefore, when preparing the taxable profits, don't include it. Why? Because the only costs that are deductible when computing the taxable profit are those that were wholly and exclusively incurred for purposes of generating revenues of the company. Think of rent, salaries, airtime, fuel, and anything that a business incurs in the normal running of its operations. Those are business costs. But fines, penalties, whether it is KRA that came after, you had late filing fees. Remember, for VAT, for example, the penalty for not filing VAT on time is 10,000 per month. So in a year, if you had forgotten that you had a responsibility of filing VAT in a year, it means you have penalties accruing to 120,000. So when you are preparing, and you end up paying the same to KRA. And now, when it comes to you preparing the profit and loss accounts, where you say revenues less expenses so that you get the net profit and you get to know how much you are supposed to pay to KRA, you include this 120,000 as an expense for the business. You are not supposed to do that. It is a penalty that you suffered and should not interfere with KRA taxes. It can only interfere with the money that is left in your pocket after doing the business. So, what you should do every other time you get penalized for whether it is late payment of taxes, traffic rules, or unfair dismissal of an employee who successfully sues you and the court awards them damages. Those expenses, those costs, you should record them separately. Don't mix them with administrative or running expenses. Just because expenses were incurred, money left the bank account, does not mean or justify such cost to be considered as operating or administrative expenses. They are not even professional fees or legal fees. Call a spade a spade. They were penalties that were charged or imposed on you for breaking the rules, and therefore they are not related to any production or any income for your company. So always ensure you don't include them in the taxable when computing the taxable profit. If you have already done that, then add them back, recompute the taxes that you are supposed to pay, and if you had filed these taxes that we are talking about, go back to the iTax portal and amend that return before KRA notices that mistake, because once they realize, they will punish you heavily with more penalties, fines, and interest. Always do the right thing to protect the interest of your business, to protect the profits of your business, and most importantly, to protect the peace of your mind. Penalties are not cost of doing business, they are cost of non-compliance, and they cannot be allowed as deductible expenses, because doing so, you'll be encouraged to continue repeating the same offense that you are penalized for. Know that, because when you know better, you are expected to do better.